Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, who the devil you trying to kid? Good morning, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Today is all about the draw in the Big Cup. We know who we're going to get drawn against, one or two teams. Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. Who the devil are you trying to kid? Because we've got Adam Ida going to score again. Yes, we have. We've got Adam Ida that's on a bit of a goal scoring form in the Champions League. And can he be the one to take us into the last 16 of the Europa? It's the European Champions League. Well, it is a hard game, whatever one we get. And let's face it, we had a Maulen in Germany, and we've had a couple of Maulens in Madrid. It's not looking good, is it? But for one player, he will not be making the trip to either destination. He's decided to leave Celtic and head to Greece. Yes, Louis Palma went down to London last night, and Louis Palma has passed his medical. He has passed his medical to leave Celtic on loan until the end of the season, but there is an option to buy for Olympiacos. It's estimated the deal between 3.5 and 4 million euros was reported by an outlet in Greece. Luis Palma is a player, the Honduras player. Have we had? I mean, he's been a good servant with all the lengthy contract that he did have at Celtic. It's another player that just hasn't lived up to expectations. Has there been another South American player apart from Amelia Izaguirre that has done fantastically well at Celtic? Brendan Rodgers is a man that I thought would get the best out of Luis Palma because he knows a thing or two about turning South American players into cracking players. But he's not been able to do that. There's something just been not right with Luis Palma. The fact that, I don't know, he maybe doesn't like to listen to Brendan Rodgers. Anyway, he's another one that is out the door. We will do a video with all the players that have left in this transfer window when it closes on Monday. But there's a good reason to be happy today. There is a good reason to be happy today. Celtic are in the draw for the Champions League, which starts at 11 o'clock Celtic Park time. And let's face it, the song goes, well, it's Barcelona, Real Madrid, but Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, who the hell are you trying to kid? Adam Ida, look, he's raring to go. He's raring to go. Whoever we get, the striker is a respecter of reputations. And let's face it, when we come into the next two games in the Champions League, and it's interesting because I'm going to do a video also about how much money Celtic have made in the Champions League, which is really interesting. Anyway, Adam Ida says, look, an intimidating tie awaits. When you look at it, this well, probably the biggest learning curve that we had this season was back in Dortmund. Celtic fans went into that game with such vigour and expectation that we're about to do something in Germany for the first time. But the reality was that we got caught in the headlights. And people will say, look at the Aston Villa game. We got caught in the headlights in the first 5 minutes of that, and we were 2 goals down before we could even do anything. And then up steps Adam Ida and says, come on, lads, let's just calm down. Let's just calm down and just get back into our way of playing and get back into this game, and Celtic did. We've got an unbelievable players in the team, says Adam Ida. He says, you look at us and you think the same thing. He says, we can't be afraid to play these teams. We cannot. If we want to go and do something in the Champions League, you have to start upping your game for these teams. There's going to be a lot of players coming and going over the next few days at Celtic, and obviously Louis Palma is one that's headed out the door already, and there's a few before him. But we can't look back. No, we can't look back in anger. We can't. They've gone, and that is it. That's dusted. Celtic fans will always be here. And one of the good things about it is we're going to get in the next breed of talent. Adam Ida, who is that next breed of talent, whether people like him or not, he's had a lot of stick over the last couple of weeks, and I think that he proved his doubters wrong. People saying that, the goals was a tap-in. The goal where he stretches his leg up to the same height as his head as the ball was going past him, I think it probably would have been easier for him to header the ball into the net, but the fact that he gets his leg away up and then just gets the ball into the back of the net was fantastic. Absolutely brilliant play from Greg Taylor to get the ball into him. People aren't talking about that pass from Greg Taylor. I know it seems a bit split the fans that want Greg Taylor to stay, and it looks like Greg Taylor will be here to the end of the season. And we are in the market for another left back after the news broke last night that Kieran Tierney will not be allowed to head to Celtic from Arsenal on loan, which is to be expected because Arteta played for the team across the city, and Arteta said that, look, we're still going for the English Premiership and also the Champions League, so I need the biggest squad as possible. It would be fitting, actually, and you could see it written in the stars, Celtic to get a player come to them in the summer, another Champions League winner, another Scottish Champions League winner. It happened with Paul Lambert back in the day. Paul Lambert won the Champions League and came to Celtic the next season. Can Kieran Tierney win the Champions League with Arsenal? Now that would be a turnaround in Kieran Tierney's Arsenal career. It would be a turnaround in Kieran Tierney's Arsenal career. He's not had the best of times down there. But say he was to win the English Premiership, just say. People are saying, who cares? It's Arsenal. They're a horrible team. But I'm talking about Kieran Tierney. But anyway, Aramida says, when it comes to the Dortmund game, it didn't go down too well. The fear that we didn't play our football. I think on Wednesday, it was right that we had the bad start, but we got back into it. We just did. I think at this level, we need to be fully on for 90 minutes. We probably lacked a bit in the second half. I think that was more to do with the fact that the bench wasn't as strong as what it has been over the course of the season. And to lose the strength of your bench at this time is a whole conversation that we've had last night, but it's unbelievable that usually at this time of the season Celtic go from strength to strength and we get players back that have been maybe out injured. James Forrest is to come back. It's a fantastic. Will he be fit and ready for that game next week? I don't think so, but it'll be good to have him back for the run-in. When you look at it, there's a lot of positives to take from the Champions League this season. We've finished on a massive amount of points. We've earned so far something like £46 million. Watch out for a video later on today where I talk about the money. In fact, we might do it on the live. We'll talk about the live for the draw. We'll talk about the money that Celtic has made. Now, this is money excluding tickets for games at Celtic Park. That money would have to be added on top of it. And we all know how much money Celtic take in for a ticket day at the Champions League. Anyway, we are going to be back later on this afternoon. The more sort of breaking bit of news this morning is the fact that Luis Palma has left. There is talk of Celtic going for another left back on loan until the end of the season, and Fabrizio Romano has also said that there's a player maybe of interest to Celtic, but I don't buy it at all. He was loaned at Celtic back in 2018, but he's going nowhere near it. There's all sorts of nonsense going around this morning, and as will do, Celtic are going to get named with everybody and anybody because everybody knows the situation that Celtic are now in. The squad is, right now, as it stands, is weaker than what it was when we went into the window, especially with Luis Palma now leaving. Celtic are trying to get in another winger, which would replace Luis Palma, but at the end of the day, we've got another couple of days. We need to get the Champions League draw and get your tickets booked for whatever destination we have this afternoon. The Champions League record this year has vastly improved at Celtic. Vastly improved. We've amassed more points than we could in any other season. We've scored more goals than we have in any other season. But we've drawn 3 games too many. And it was just a step too far to go down to Aston Villa and get the team to perform with such a weakened squad. And people say, look, they had a weakened squad. Yeah, but their weakened squad, it's multi-millions more than Celtic's. Anyway, make sure that you join me at 11 o'clock Celtic part-time for the draw live. Yes, we are going to be doing the Champions League draw live, and I'm going to tell you exactly how much money Celtic have made over the Champions League draw. And on that note, I'll see you then. Have a fantastic morning, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.